Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and today we will be looking at the latest polls regarding the 2025 United States elections in New York City, California, New Jersey, and Virginia. So we are on DDHQ today, and DDHQ has some polling aggregates that we will be taking a look at, and we will be putting them on our maps for New Jersey Governor, Virginia Governor, Lieutenant Governor, Attorney General, California's Proposition 50, and New York City. So we're going to start off with their New York City aggregate. You can see here that right now their average is Zohran Mamdani is at 44.6%, Andrew Cuomo is at 31.6%, and Curtis Sliwa is at 18.3%. Recently, you saw a pretty big, since maybe September, you've seen Zohran Mamdani kind of hold a steady position at around 44.6%. And then after October 6th, you saw a massive surge for Andrew Cuomo, jump from 26.6% to 31%, and right now he sits at 31.6%, which is his highest since around early July and late June. So Curtis Sliwa, he's also been climbing since October 6th. He went from 12 to 13, and then to 14, and then now he sits at 18.3%. So it might have been because of Eric Adams dropping out, but I don't really think that's going to give Cuomo a 5% boost in one day. So Eric Adams dropped out on September 28th, and Jim Walden dropped out on September 2nd. So that's very interesting. And the latest poll from Atlas Intel, I talked about this one yesterday. This is the best poll in the 2024 presidential election, and they showed a very close race. Only Zohran Mamdani up by 6.6%. Zohran Mamdani is at 40.6% in this poll, which is 4% lower than his. Let's look at the day before, which is how much? 5.1% lower than his average the day before the poll came out. And Andrew Cuomo sits at 34%, which is 3.6% higher than his average the day the poll that came out. And even shockingly, Curtis Sliwa sits at 24.1%, which is 7.9% higher than the average the day before his poll came out. So this is actually looking way better for Curtis Sliwa than previously expected, but he's still continuously getting third place. I don't think there's a single poll showing him in second, and it shows a much better and closer margin for Andrew Cuomo to close, but I doubt he's actually going to be able to win. First of all, this poll is coming so late, and a lot of people have already voted. Like 500,000 voters in New York City have already casted their ballots, and a 6.6% margin is still quite a lot, and Atlas Intel will likely not miss this poll by 7%. So, if we look back, this is one of the closest margins we've seen in a while. You see plus 16, plus 14, all these are double-digit leads for Zohran Mamdani. This one's a 24.3% lead for Zohran Mamdani. Yeah, you haven't had a single-digit lead for Zohran Mamdani in a while. I'm scrolling back a lot. Yeah, the closest one the first one that showed this race closer was when Eric Adams was still in the race and Zohran Mamdani was only beating Andrew Cuomo by 3%. That was in July. So this is a closest poll we've seen regarding the New York City mayoral race since July. So this map for New York City, we're going to base it mostly off of the poll average, not the last poll like some of my other polling videos. So 44.6% for Mamdani, 31.6% for Cuomo, 18.3% for Sliwa. So this would make me put Manhattan into likely Democrat. This would make me put the Bronx into safe. No, not safe. Likely Cuomo. Staten Island will be likely Cuomo. And I believe in this one, Queens and Brooklyn. Brooklyn was Mamdani's best borough in the primary. Queens was his second best. So I think Queens is probably going to go, according to this polling average, likely Mamdani. Still double digits, probably somewhere between 12 to 14%. And Brooklyn will go safe Democrat Mamdani. The margins per borough here Let me first do the percentages, right? So the percentages will be 44.6, 31.6, and 18.3. So that would be a 13-point gap between Andrew Cuomo and Zoran Mamdani. So 18.3 and around a, what is that, 13.3% gap between Cuomo and Siwa. So that would mean here for the boroughs, because the boroughs we kind of just have to decide ourselves. Brooklyn will go to Mamdani by 16%. Queens will go to Mamdani by 13%. Manhattan will go to Mamdani by 9%. The Bronx will go to Cuomo by 12%, and Staten Island will go to Cuomo by 7%. So this is my New York City prediction solely based on this DHQ aggregate. So let's move on to our next election, and that is going to be in California for Prop 50. Their current average here shows yes winning 57%, almost 20 points up against no, which is sitting at 37.5%. There haven't been many polls for yes and no on Prop 50. The last one we had in no was, oh my god, that was a while ago, between July and August, and that was a massive win for no, 28 points for no, and that was the first poll, and then ever since then, you've seen a yes win by double digits. The last poll had almost 5,000 likely voters, was polled by the University of Berkeley, and had yes winning by 22%, 60 to 38. Now, a lot of these polls, I will say, have worded the question a bit more biasly than the actual ballot question in some places, such as Los Angeles. Like, the actual ballot in Los Angeles, I don't think it talks about Texas's partisan redistricting. It just talks about getting rid of an independent commission. And most of these polls talk about Texas's redistricting, how it will defend democracy, a bit like that. So some of these questions are sort of biased. So I think it's going to be a bit closer than 20%, but I don't think it's going to be even close to no winning. I think yes will still pass by double digits. So it would still be safe, yes, if we go by this poll. Let me add the yes here. The yes will go yes green, and I'll add the no just for the fun of it, cause 19.5% win for yes in the state of California according to DDHQ's polling aggregate. So that's actually really interesting. And it's actually continued to increase as Republicans kind of gave up on advertising against Prop 50, and Democrats have kind of like been able to nationalize Prop 50 a bit more and kind of spread the word. You've seen this gap widen, and I think it's I think it might be the largest gap right now compared to any other time during this little graph. So that would be a 19.5% win according to DHQ's aggregate. So let's go to the state of New Jersey now. New Jersey's governor race. This has continued to tighten, although I don't think it's the tightest point. Actually, no, it may be the tightest point. Because right now, Mikey Sherrill's just sitting a tad bit up, a tad bit up 50%. She's sitting at 50.1%. Jack Shirley's sitting at 45.5%. That's 4.6% lead for Mikey Sherrill. I think the closest point was probably here, 3.9% lead, or somewhere around this little place here. But this is looking kind of good for Jack Shirley. Last night's poll from Atlas until the newest poll, and it might be the last poll we're going to see from New Jersey. Mikey Sherrill is up by less than 1%, only 0.9. So you see here, we haven't seen a poll that close. We haven't seen a poll under 1% ever. So actually, no, we have seen a poll from Neighborhood Research and Media. This is a right-leaning pollster, and it only has 311 likely voters. It showed a tie. So, yeah, I mean, it's the closest poll we've seen since early October. And then we had a national research poll that is right-leaning that showed Jack Shirley up by 1. So, it is looking possible that Jack Ciattarelli wins, especially with the best pollster in the country, Atlas Intel, showing this race under 1%. And once again, it's definitely possible that the best pollster misses by, like 1%. So it's looking pretty good for Jack Ciattarelli, but a 4.6% lead would still be a likely Democratic win for Jack Ciattarelli, no, for Mikey Sherrill. So, there is New Jersey. And now we're going to go to the state of Virginia. Virginia, you have 3 races going on. We're going to start off with the governors. So, Virginia governor, you have here, also for this one, the gap is actually widened since like mid-October, where the lead was only a 5-point lead for Spanberger. Now you had like a surge of polls, and now you're seeing a almost double-digit lead for Abigail Spanberger. She is leading in the aggregate here by 9.3% against Winsome Earl-Sears. The latest poll from Atlas Intel showed an 8.7% lead here. And the latest poll, we actually had one from Echelon Insights after Atlas Intel. They pulled this race and showed Abigail Spanberger was up by double digits, an 11-point lead. So almost double digits between the average 9.3% and the latest Atlas Intel poll has it at 8.7%. So that would be a likely Democrat win, almost double digits on the governor's level. But now let's check the Attorney General and Lieutenant Governor races. We're going to start off with the Lieutenant Governor. A much closer race than expected. Like at the start here, Hashmi was up by double digits, 10%. Now she's only up by 3.6%, and the race is tightening. The Atlas Intel poll actually showed, unlike the other races, unlike the other races in Virginia, they actually showed a better lead, a better performance for the Democrats compared to most other polls. A 6.1% lead for Ghazala Hashmi compared to a 3-point lead by Echelon Insights, 2-point lead by SoCal, a 2-point lead by Roanoke College, a 2-point lead by Christopher Newport University, and there was even a 0.2% lead for John Reed, the Republican in this race, by Suffolk University. So this one actually showed a pretty good performance from Atlas Intel for Ghazala Hashmi. So a 3.6% win for Hashmi in this average would be a lean Democrat for Virginia. So I've actually right now my predictions is actually a lean Democrat for Lieutenant Governor and likely Democrat for Governor. So that actually matches my predictions. So now let's go to Attorney General now, our final race for this video. And obviously, this was October. Yeah, this was around when the scandals broke out, and then Jason Miyares obviously took the lead. The incumbent Attorney General took the lead over very scandalous Democrat Jay Jones, and now he is up by 3.7% on average. Before he was down by quite a bit. So the latest Atlas Intel poll actually, once again shows a closer race, a better performance for Democrats. Unlike the, a better performance for Democrats in Virginia actually, because they only have a 1.5% lead for Jason Miyares compared to a 3-point lead for Echelon Insights for Miyares, 2-point lead for Miyares from SoCal, 8-point lead from Roanoke College. So, not the best poll for Miyares. It is within the margin of error from Atlas Intel, but the average is looking good for him, a 3.6% lead overall. That would be a lean Republican win for Attorney General. So, these are the current averages. A likely Democrat for Governor, a lean Democrat for Lieutenant Governor, a lean Republican for Attorney General, a likely Democrat for New Jersey, safe yes for California, and a likely double-digit win for Zohran Mamdani. And here are the borough predictions I made myself. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe if you like this content and like the video, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.